Here we go, here we go. I'm your host, MCKC. Here we go with a change of pace sports short. One segment off where we breaking down, bringing the truth to the sports world. Another alternative view. On this segment of COP Shorts, we're going to break down 7 NBA players that deserve a trade. So this segment, I'll break down 7 different players that have a lot of talent, have a lot of potential, but are just caught in the wrong situation. We're going to slowly break down why they're in the wrong situation and why a trade would benefit them and what teams are actually the best fits for these teams. So again, this segment is 7 players in the NBA that deserve a trade. So to get us started, we'll go number 7. Number 7 will come from the New York Knicks. He is small forward Kevin Knox. Now, Kevin Knox was a highly touted rookie. He was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. Kevin Knox is only 22 years old. He's very young. He was the 9th overall pick in the 2018 draft by the New York Knicks. He had a solid rookie season with the Knicks. Played in 75 games. 57 of them started, averaged about 13 points and 4 rebounds. Now, he's known for shooting. He's a great long-range shooter. He only played 1 year at Kentucky. He was a freshman there, shot at 34% from 3, scored about 16 points, 5 rebounds in only a freshman year at Kentucky. But with the Knicks, in 2 seasons after his rookie year, his minutes have declined, and he's gotten less and less minutes. And he hasn't even got a real opportunity. In 2019-2020, the Knicks had Marcus Morris, who was signed to a big deal, who had beat him out, a senior player, played very well for the Knicks. And then last year, in the first year with Tom Thibodeau went with more veteran players in front of Kevin Knox. And Kevin Knox just hasn't really got off the bench this season, hasn't really got a chance. He's not in the rotation at all. And I believe that it's a better chance for him to get a better fit somewhere else. So let's look at the teams that would make a great fit for Kevin Knox. Now, first off, Kevin Knox is actually born and raised in Tampa, Florida. So the first place that would be a great fit for him is coming home to the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic also they just drafted Franz Wagner at the small forward position. So they already have somebody there. Another great fit for Kevin Knox would be the San Antonio Spurs, where say with a great coach of Greg Popovich, who had also developed Sean Elliott, who had also had a similar situation where he was drafted very highly, got traded to Detroit, and then came back to San Antonio and was able to figure it out. That would be a nice situation for him. But I think the best fit for Kevin Knox would actually be with the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, New Orleans actually has the best fan base for former Kentucky players. Kentucky players that played well with the Wildcats. New Orleans fan base with Louisiana has a great fan base for them. So that would be the best fit for Kevin Knox. So the first trade that I would have on the 7 players that deserve to be traded would be Kevin Knox and the New York Knicks make a trade to the New Orleans Pelicans. So in this trade, the New Orleans Pelicans will receive small forward Kevin Knox, and it will also receive power forward Luka Samanta from the New York Knicks. And the Knicks will get Nigel Marshall, who's also a young 22-year-old small forward, who's also known for his defense. So the Knicks with Tom Thibodeau, who's actually wants defensive players, great defensive players. Nigel Marshall will be a great fit to be another additional player on the deep Knicks bench as a great defensive player, and he'll be able to replace Kevin Knox there. And also the Knicks will receive guard Tado Sadarowski, European player, veteran player. He'll be able to be another depth player that can add to the Knicks' depth, another piece that plays defense, can spread the ball around, another Tom Thibodeau type of player. But the main part of this trade will be New Orleans actually receiving Kevin Knox, and Kevin Knox getting a chance to play with Brandon Ingram, who's actually the kind of player that Kevin Knox was projected to be when he got drafted. Very similar to Brandon Ingram, can play with the ball, a very good shooter, mid-range, long-range. So to play with a Brandon Ingram, maybe Knox can learn from Ingram, can see what he needs to be to become that kind of player, and eventually live up to his potentials playing alongside Brandon Ingram and another great Kentucky player in Zion Williamson. So that was our first player that deserves a trade from the NBA. Moving into number 6 now. Our number 6 player that deserves a trade or deserves a better situation is with the San Antonio Spurs shooting guard Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker was also a 5-star high school player, a McDonald's All-American. He went to the University of Miami and played just 1 year as a freshman and came to the draft. He was drafted in also the same draft as Kevin Knox, the 2018 draft. He was drafted 18th overall by the San Antonio Spurs. Now, Lonnie Walker, like I said, has a lot of talent. He was a Mr. Basketball Pennsylvania 2017 McDonald's All-American as a high school player, was a 5-star high school recruit, was a huge recruit for the Miami Hurricanes when he actually passed on Kentucky, Syracuse, and Villanova to go to Miami for his college experience. Now, in his few years with the San Antonio Spurs, he slowly saw his minutes increase every year. As a rookie, he only saw 17 games at about 7 minutes a game, only averaged 2 points. Second year in the league in 2019, he played in 61 games at 16 minutes a game, scored 6 points a game. And then last year, he played in 60 games, 38 games started, 25 minutes a game, and went up to 11 points a game. So we've steadily seen the improvement by Lonnie Walker, but he hasn't really been given the opportunity to be a focal player or a main player and in the main rotation. And even this year, his minutes have been a little bit inconsistent. So I think it might be best for the Spurs to part ways with Lonnie Walker and give him a chance to actually be a star or reach his potential in another situation. Now, the best fits for Lonnie Walker I have are Philadelphia, because he's actually from Pennsylvania. He's from Reading, PA. He was a 5-star high school player in Pennsylvania, a Mr. Pennsylvania basketball 2017. So returning home would be another great situation for him to go to Philadelphia. And the 76ers would actually be a good fit. If he was the starting shooting guard for the Sixers, he would spread the floor, offer great defense, and aggressive scorer option that would be an excellent fit alongside Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid in Philadelphia. Another good fit for Lonnie Walker will be with the LA Lakers. The Lakers right now with Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis can absolutely use a scoring shooting guard, which they do have in Taylor Tucker Horton. But Lonnie Walker might be a more talented version of Tucker and might be a great fit for the Lakers. But the best fit, I believe, for Lonnie Walker would be with the OKC Thunder. Now, the OKC Thunder had a very similar situation in which they helped the player reach his potential of the same stature, same style, same position in Victor Oladipo. Victor Oladipo is also a 6'4" shooting guard that plays a very aggressive style of basketball, very similar to Lonnie Walker. Had a very similar trajectory coming out of college as Victor Oladipo. And Victor Oladipo found his actual niche, or found his stardom in the 1 year in which he played with OKC with Russell Westbrook. So I think a very similar situation could happen for Lonnie Walker, and I think that would be the best fit. So the trade that I've put together for the OKC Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs, the San Antonio Spurs will receive small forward Lou Dort, who's also a 22-year-old swing player who's continuously improved in his couple years with the OKC Thunder. He will go to the Spurs, and in return, the OKC will receive shooting guard Lonnie Walker, and he would instantly become their starting shooting guard with the OKC Thunder and would be in the backcourt with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, another former high school All-American. Okay? And that was number 6. I think Lonnie Walker could definitely reach closer to his full potential with the OKC Thunder. Now let's move into number 5, the 5th player that I believe deserves a trade this season in the NBA. Number 5, I have from the Portland Trailblazers, shooting guard Anfernee Simons. Now, Anfernee Simons is one of the last players to truly come straight from high school. He came out of a prep academy and went straight to the NBA draft without ever playing in college basketball. He's one of the last players to do that. He was drafted also in the same draft as Kevin Knox and Lonnie Walker. He was drafted 24th overall in the first round by the Portland Trailblazers. He came out of also Florida, just like Kevin Knox. He's from Orlando, Florida. But the reason why he would not be a good fit with the Orlando Magic is because the Orlando Magic already has a lot of guards in Karl-Anthony, Suggs, Markelle Fultz, They have a ton of guards. Terrence Ross, they have a ton of guards already there with Orlando. So it would be a poor fit for Anfernee Simons to go there. But the good fits that I have for Anfernee Simons is actually New Orleans Pelicans, the LA Clippers, and the Miami Heat. Now, Anfernee Simons has already won a dunk contest. He's a super athletic 6'4" shooting guard. He can shoot from anywhere. He can score from anywhere. Extremely athletic. Has unlimited range. Very talented scoring prospect player. But deserves the ball in his hand. Deserves opportunities to be able to score and to be able to showcase that he's probably one of the better scorers in the NBA if he was given the opportunity. He's more skill set along the line of a Jordan Clarkson. Okay? Now, with the Miami Heat, he would be a good fit. He would be similar to what Tyler Herro plays there. With the LA Clippers, he would be a solid fit, but he would need to start. He would need to get starting minutes, and that would take away from players like Eric Bledsoe. Who else starts over there? Plays like a Trey Mann that starts over there, gets minutes over there. But I feel the best fit for Anfernee Simons would also be with the New Orleans Pelicans. If he was to go to New Orleans, he would compete against Graham to be able to get more opportunities, and I think that he would get more opportunities against Graham. So in this trade, I would feel Portland would trade Simons to New Orleans and receive Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I feel like Nickeil Alexander-Walker is a very similar player and prospect to Simons, but in the Portland system, he would fit much better. He's a mature player. He's more of a playmaker. He can play off the ball. He can play with the ball. Whereas Simons is more of a true shooting guard. More of a person that wants to put the ball up. More of a person that's a true scorer. And with Damian Lillard and CJ McCullough, he just was not a good fit alongside those players. Whereas Alexander Walker is a better fit, I believe. Whereas in New Orleans, I feel like Simons could be a great fit alongside Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. Okay, that's number 5. Moving into the number 4 player that deserves a trade, deserves to be moved into a better situation. Number 4, I have shooting guard of the Sacramento Kings, Buddy Hield. Now, Buddy Hield has been a known commodity. He's a star player, a known name, but he has not lived up to his immense potential since going to Sacramento. Buddy Hield was the 6th overall pick in the first round of the 2016 draft, and he was drafted by the New Orleans Pelicans. But 1 year into his career, he was traded, or halfway into his career, he was traded to Sacramento in a big trade for, at the time, star franchise center DeMarcus Cousins. Since Buddy Hield has made it to Sacramento, they've taken him from being a starting level player and a potential franchise shooting guard to a bench player, something like Lou Williams, where they've tried to trade him into a Jamal Crawford type of player, where he's a scorer for hire coming off the bench. Now, Buddy Hield has never been happy about this decision. He's never been happy about this move. He's always wanted to be a starter. He's always wanted to be a franchise player. Now, under Luke Walton, he's been a bench player. Now, last year, he returned back to the starting lineups and posted great numbers, 16 points, while shooting 39% from the three-point line, almost 40% from the three-point line. He's known as a shooter, and he put up great shooting numbers last year. But I feel like the time has come now for Buddy Hield to leave Sacramento. Now, I do understand that the head coach that has actually bumped heads with Buddy Hield over the last couple seasons, Luke Walton, has been fired as of Sunday. But I still believe Buddy Hield could reach his potential or reach greater status in a different situation. Now, the places that I feel Buddy Hield fits, Buddy Hield would also fit very well with the Portland Trailblazers. He would fit very well with the Los Angeles Lakers, being a shooter on the outside of Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. But given Buddy Hield's contract, it would be hard to get him to the Los Angeles Lakers. I feel like great fit would be with the OKC Thunder because Buddy Hield was a star at Oklahoma in college. 4 years, he put up dominant numbers. He even got Oklahoma into the conference. He was a player of the year in his senior year with Oklahoma in college. Became a star in the Oklahoma community. So if he went to Oklahoma City Thunder, he would also be revitalize his stardom in that community. But I believe the best fit for Buddy Hield would be with the Boston Celtics. Now, the reason I say the Boston Celtics is because I believe the best possible trade for both teams is with the Boston Celtics. Whereas OKC can send some young talent to the Sacramento Kings, and they can offer Buddy Hield the opportunity to become a star player and get the most shots. I feel if Buddy Hield wants to be in a playoff situation and get a chance to be a significant player right away and reach what will be his best potential, I believe it would be about Boston Celtics. Now, the trade that I have is a blockbuster trade here. Boston would now trade star player Jaylen Brown to the Sacramento Kings. In addition, shooting guard Josh Richardson, who's an excellent 3-and-D player that can score the ball and actually play good defense. Now, Jaylen Brown is a budding all-star player in this league, a budding franchise player, former 3rd overall pick in the draft. Him and Jason Tatum haven't been able to raise the Boston Celtics to the high expectations of championship, and I believe it's because they do similar things on the court. Both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have similar games, and they do similar things on the basketball court. So I believe the best move is to swap them out. I believe it's a situation like Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady in Toronto, where Tracy McGrady was a great young player, but he was being held back with Vince Carter. And I think the same thing is happening right now in Boston with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum that we saw with Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter years ago. So I think the move to be made is like with Tracy McGrady going to Orlando. Jaylen Brown needs to go to his own team to become his own superstar. And I believe that team is the Sacramento Kings. Now, in return, Boston will receive shooting guard Buddy Hield, former lottery star Marvin Bagley, and also lottery star from last year, point guard Tyrese Halliburton. So Boston would gain a lot of talent back, and that talent would now be surrounded around Jason Tatum. In return now, Sacramento would now be able to pair Jaylen Brown and De'Aaron Fox as their franchise starting backcourt. Jaylen Brown would instantly become their best player, and now he would be now tasked with leading the Sacramento Kings back to the playoffs as their best player, which he's fully capable of. The same way Orlando Magic, once they got Tracy McGrady, was looking at him to lead them back to the postseason. So, but back to the point of this player, the player is Buddy Hield. And I feel like Buddy Hield will instantly become the second best player in Boston. He will become a borderline all-star, but a relevant player in the NBA again, and will be able to help Boston now become a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference again. And that's my Buddy Hield take. Let's move into number 3. We have Atlanta Hawks guard Cam Reddish. Now, Cam Reddish has actually done well since he's been with the Atlanta Hawks. But most people do not realize Cam Reddish was considered a top 3 high school prospect in his high school class. He's expected to be a franchise player and a all-star performer. Now, with the Atlanta Hawks, he's not been given that opportunity behind stars like Trae Young. You have John Collins, Clint Capella, even Lou Williams is over there. They have a lot of talented guards and talented players over there that get a lot of opportunities. Now, Cam Reddish was drafted 10th overall in the 2019 draft. But he was also a Mr. Pennsylvania basketball in 2018. He was a McDonald's All-American in 2018 out of high school. Again, he was ranked 3rd in the high school class behind R.J. Barrett of the New York Knicks and Zion Williamson of the New Orleans Pelicans, who were top 3 draft picks of their draft class. Now, Cam lost a little bit of luster in Duke playing behind R.J. Barrett and Zion Williams. Zion Williamson won Player of the Year that year in college. R.J. Barrett actually broke records of being the leading scorer in the ACC as a freshman that year. So Cam Reddish was overshadowed by those 2 players, and he's been overshadowed so far in his first couple seasons in the NBA. Now, Cam can actually still be an all-star performer. He's a 2-way star if he was given the opportunity, as you could tell by his per 40 stats. When you look at his stats across 40 minutes, he averages over 16 points and 5 rebounds. So he would be a potential all-star player if he was given over 30 minutes a game. Now let's go into the fits. I feel like Cam Reddish would be a good fit on the Charlotte Hornets, playing alongside Miles Bridges and LaMelo Ball. I feel like another place he would be a great fit will be with the New Orleans Pelicans. As we've seen, they could use a wing player like a Kevin Knox or a player that we've mentioned before in Anfernee Simons. So the same would be with Cam Reddish. But I feel the perfect fit for Cam Reddish would actually be with the Philadelphia 76ers. The same role that we saw Jimmy Butler have with that same Philadelphia 76ers, Cam Reddish could actually become a star in that role with the Philadelphia 76ers. And he's also, again, he was a star in PA in high school. He's from the PA, the Pennsylvania area. He went to Haverton School in Pennsylvania, which is from Westchester, PA. So returning back to PA would be like his roots in Philadelphia. So now, the trade would send to Atlanta shooting guard Seth Curry, guard Shake Milton, and shooting guard Isaiah Joe. Returning to Philly, they would get now shooting guard Cam Reddish. And now that they're having problems with the point guard position because of Ben Simmons, they would get veteran point guard Dylan Wright. So for Philly, this would be an excellent trade for right now and the future. And for Atlanta, they would be able to get a player to replace those numbers right away in Steph Curry and Shake Milton, and a player that could eventually become what Cam Reddish is in Isaiah Joe, 6'6" shooting guard, clean shooter. That would be my number 3. Moving into number 2. This player has all the talent in the world, might be a real live unicorn, and just hasn't got the opportunity to showcase that yet. That would be Denver Nuggets center Bol Bol. Bol Bol is the son of former NBA legendary Manute Bol. Bol Bol is a special player, as in he's 7'2" with an over 7'8" wingspan, but plays like a wing player. Can shoot the ball from 3, can post up, can pass the ball well, can play make, and is an extremely great rim protector because his length. He can block almost anything that comes to the rim. But unfortunately, he plays behind the former MVP of last year at the same position in Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic is one of the best centers, if not the best center in the NBA right now. And Bol Bol plays that exact same position. So it makes sense why he would not get a lot of playing time. And he's still very young, very raw. Bol Bol is still only 22 years old. He just turned 22 last week, November 16th. So he's still extremely young and still has a lot to grow, a lot to develop. There's a lot of teams that could use a talent of his nature. Now, the player that we can compare most to what Bol Bol could be is none other than former New York Knicks star and current Dallas Mavericks star power forward, Kristaps Porzingis. Now, we see with Kristaps Porzingis, he's a 7'3" power forward that can block shots very well, can shoot from very far. That is exactly what Bol Bol is. And we see that Kristaps Porzingis can easily average 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks. That is what Bol Bol would potentially average if he was given the same 30 minutes a game as we saw the Knicks develop Kristaps Porzingis. Now, for Bol Bol, I have 4 teams that make a lot of sense that would be good fits for him. The first good fit would be the LA Clippers. First off, because the LA Clippers don't have a very great center right now playing with them, but they also have a player there that can be a great mentor to Bol Bol in Serge Ibaka, aka Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka is a 6'9", 6'10" power forward with over 7-foot wingspan that is known for blocking shots, but was one of the first that could block shots and also shoot the long-range jumper with consistency. So he would be able to show Bol Bol how to get those jump shots off and also how to protect the rim at a high level, while also being on a team with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard that can show Bol Bol how to become a star-level player. Moving on, we also have the Miami Heat. Now, the Miami Heat have been known to develop players that have star talent. We've seen this over and over with players like Hassan Whiteside. We've seen them also develop other players like Bam Bam Adebayo over there. And Pat Riley is known for developing players in addition to Eric Spoelstra the head coach of Miami is one of the best coaches in the league right now. The Miami Heat would be a great situation for Bol Bol if they was to focus in. It's also the Miami Heat is who originally drafted Bol Bol in the second round of the 2018 draft. Number 3 I have on this group of good fits, we have the Toronto Raptors. Now the Toronto Raptors have, in my opinion, the best coach in the entire NBA in Nick Nurse. And we've seen Nick Nurse develop a multitude of different players at different positions. We've seen him also be a G League champion coach. So he might be the best development coach in the NBA right now. And we've seen him develop a similar player of similar stature and Pascal Siakam. 6'10", over 7 foot wingspan, wing player that was projected as a power forward, that he has been converted to a wing player with Nick Nurse and has now become an all-star level player under the tutelage and development of the Toronto Raptors and Nick Nurse. So again, Bol Bol will potentially be a star with the Toronto Raptors under that tutelage and development. But the best fit I have for Bol Bol, and the best situation I have for Bol Bol, would be with the Portland Trailblazers. Now I believe that in Portland, first off, Bol Bol was recruited and played his only year in college with the Oregon Ducks. He was something of a star in Oregon. And Oregon is very close to Portland. So if there's a place where he would get the same level of love that he got as a 5-star recruit being recruited to Oregon, it would be in Portland, in the Portland environment, in the Portland community. So that would be a great fit off of the nature of that for Bol Bol. So let's look at what the trade would look like. Portland would send to Denver, previously mentioned in this particular segment, shooting guard Anfernee Simons to Denver, and also power forward Greg Brown. Now, Greg Brown was also a high-level prospect out of high school that was unable to actually find himself in college, and he fell in the draft and was unable to maintain the same level of draft stock. He's a former 2020 McDonald's All-American, was projected as a top 10 pick, but in his 1 year in Texas, it didn't work out, and he fell to the second round in the 2021 draft. Okay, so he would be a great player for Denver to be able to develop with the Denver system. Was a lot of young players, a lot of talented players have developed in the last 5 years in that Denver system. I think Greg Brown would be in a great situation, and also Anfernee Simons would be in a great situation going to Denver in that trade. Portland will receive in return center Bol Bol and point guard Bones Hyland. Now Bones Hyland is a young player. He's a rookie this year. He's known for just putting the ball up and scoring. A lot like Anfernee Simons, it's just he's a rookie. So Simons has been in the league 3 years. Bones Hyland is basically the same level, same caliber player. He's just a rookie. So they'll be swapping out timeline for Portland with that particular move. And that's how I would actually help Bol Bol. But Bol Bol is another super talented player. He projects to be something like a Kristaps Porzingis or even a Miles Turner if he gets the opportunity to get minutes and gets developed at a team. Now, the number 1 player, this is not so much about development, this is more about opportunity and situation. The number 1 player I have that needs or deserves to be moved is none other than former number 1 draft pick in the 2015 draft, Minnesota Timberwolves center Karl-Anthony Towns, aka Cat. Now, Karl-Anthony Towns has done nothing but dominate since he got to the league. Again, former number 1 overall pick, drafted by the Kentucky Wildcats, former McDonald's All-American, 2014 Gatorade Player of the Year, 5-star recruit. He's from New Jersey, though. He's from Edison, New Jersey. So, the reason why I believe Karl-Anthony Towns deserves to play, he's been in the league now for several years. He's been to playoffs only, I believe only one time. Let me check that real quick. Yes, Karl-Anthony Towns only been to the playoffs 1 year. That was in 2018, in which Minnesota got there with the help of Jimmy Butler under head coach Tom Thibodeau. So he's been in the league now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going into his 7th season in the league. He's only been in the playoffs once. He's been perennially averaging 23 points and 12 rebounds, 1.5 block and close to a steal. Those are all-star numbers. He's been to the all-star game a few times. As Karl-Anthony Towns is several times as a 2-time all-star, 2018, 2019. So it's time for him to probably move on. It's realizing it's not going to work out with him as the franchise player in Minnesota. It might be better off to leave that mantle for the number 1 pick of the draft from last year, who's having a great year this year and was arguably the rookie of the year last year, in Anthony Edwards. So the places I have a good fit, first off, a good fit for Karl-Anthony Towns would be with the New York Knicks. First off, it's been rumored that he wants to play with the Knicks. He wants to play again with the coach that got him to his only playoff appearance in 2018, Tom Thibodeau, who is the head coach of the Knicks right now. That will potentially be a good fit. The Knicks have enough pieces to make that trade happen. So that would be a good fit for Karl-Anthony Towns. Second good fit I have for Karl-Anthony Towns would be with the Boston Celtics. It would also be on the East Coast again. Karl-Anthony Towns also went to college to be a kinesiologist. I might be saying it a little bit wrong, but he wanted to study kinesiology. One of the best one of the top 10 states to actually pick up a career in kinesiology is in Massachusetts. So it would be a place where he could pick up his career after basketball as a kinesiologist, which he studied in college, and also develop those relationships in Massachusetts, where it's the second best place to actually develop that career at in Boston. Whereas in Boston, he would also join forces with either Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, depending on where the trade is made, and it would form a great 1-2 punch, and Boston would be right back on the map. But the number 1 fit that I have for Karl-Anthony Towns, I think the best place for him to go, which would be a great trade for everybody involved in this trade, I feel needs to happen. This is why I left it at number 1. This is the number 1 trade that needs to happen this season. Karl-Anthony Towns needs to be traded to the Phoenix Suns. Now, the Phoenix Suns are coming off of going to the NBA Finals last year, but their second best player and their number 1 overall draft pick of the 2018 draft, and DeAndre Ayton, he wanted an extension, a contract extension. The Phoenix Suns don't feel like he deserves a max extension. So now DeAndre Ayton does not actually feel comfortable being there. And it's probably best for them to actually trade him because DeAndre Ayton feels that he's a max player. Phoenix does not feel like they're going to give him that amount of money. The owners came out and said such. Now, the reason why Karl-Anthony Towns makes sense here, the franchise player of the Phoenix Suns is Devin Booker. Devin Booker's roommate in college and to this day best friend in life is Karl-Anthony Towns. That is his best friend. So it would make great sense for Karl-Anthony Towns to reunite with his best friend who just made it to the finals and help him probably make it back to the finals. Because Karl-Anthony Towns, he's a hell of a talent. If the Karl-Anthony Towns gets there, it would be a hell of a 1-2 punch. It would be Shaq and Kobe, Volume 2, with Karl-Anthony Towns and Devin Booker at the 5 and the 2. So the trade will look like this. Minnesota will receive a lot for Karl-Anthony Towns. They would get DeAndre Ayton, forward Jay Crowder, forward Dario Saric, forward Jalen Smith, and a 2023 lottery protected first round pick from the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix will receive center Karl-Anthony Towns and forward Jay Layman. Jay Layman will make it easier for them to lose players like Jay Crowder and Dario Saric, and Karl-Anthony Towns would pick up the loss of DeAndre Ayton. Now, this would be a great trade for both sides. As for Minnesota, they would got DeAndre Ayton now to instantly become their center. He would be able to pair up with D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Edwards as their young team starts to develop. They would also bring back Jay Crowder, who used to play there, Dario Saric, who used to play there, and they get a young Jalen Smith, who projects to be a starting level, Serge Ibaka level power forward when he develops. All for Karl-Anthony Towns, who now gets to go where he wants. He gets to be a formidable 1-2 punch with Devin Booker, and also gets to play with the best point guard of his career in Chris Paul. So again, I think this trade has to happen. Would be a great trade. Now again, if you have any comments, any disputes, so let's go through them. If you feel like Kevin Knox is a bust and the Knicks just messed up, he don't need to get traded. If you feel like it's a better trade to Orlando, or you feel like it's a better place for Kevin Knox to go, leave that in the comments. And for Lonnie Walker, you feel like he's just a bust, he just isn't going to be anything more than he is, put that in the comment section. Or if you feel like he belongs to somewhere else, if you don't think he goes to OKC, leave that in the comment section. Same goes for Anfernee Simons. If you feel like he's just a bust, he belongs to stay with Portland, he's fine right there. If you don't agree with going to New Orleans, or if you feel it's a better place that Anfernee Simons needs to go, leave that in the comment section. I would love to debate. Buddy Hield, if you feel like he's just a bust, or he's best off as a sixth man with Sacremento, leave that in the comment. If you feel there's somewhere else that's a better fit for Buddy Hield, leave that in the comment section. Let me know. Again, Cam Reddish, if you feel like Cam Reddish is best off right there in Atlanta, maybe he's best off starting next to Trae Young, leave that in the comment section. If there's a better fit for Cam Reddish, leave that in the comment section. If you think I'm wrong about Cam Reddish, leave that in the comment section. Same goes with Bol Bol. If you think I was wrong about Bol Bol, please leave that in the comment section. Looking forward to hearing that. If you feel like Bol Bol don't fit with Portland, or he doesn't fit in Toronto, or you feel like he fits better off somewhere else, please leave that in the comment section. If you think Bol Bol's a better fit somewhere else. And lastly, like I said, if y'all think that Karl-Anthony Towns turd ain't the best trade, please leave that in the comment section. If you think I'm wrong about that, please leave that in the comment section. And again, this is just 7 players that deserve to be traded. 7 players that deserve a better situation. 7 players that deserve to reach their potential somewhere else. And again, this is nothing more than Change Your Pace Sports Shorts, COP Shorts. I'll bring one of these every week in between the episodes of the Hot Hype Cold Facts. But again, leave in the comment section. If you like these, leave another topic that you want me to bring up into, another short that I could break it down real easy. And I'll break down the truth, and I'll break down how the fits are, how the reality is, and where the truth is to the actual commentary. So again, this is your host, MCKC. This is another COP Shorts. Leave in the comment section, subscribe if you like. I'll be back next week. Peace.